I'm kind of excited to share this with you today. Do you use mind maps? Are you a mind mapper? Are you using mind mapping in some application? I began a couple of years ago to really embrace using mind mapping to help me create my videos and, more importantly, to help create my presentation, the tutorials that I do on a regular basis. And it is not overstating it to say they have changed my life. They've changed my life as far as my productivity, how efficiently I create content, but more importantly, they've changed how I present content, at least in my tutorial videos. And I'm going to show you that today on Dotto Tech. Steve Dotto here. How the heck you doing this fine day? And welcome to Dotto Tech. Today we're going to take a look at how I use mind mapping, especially for creating presentations and videos. And I guess I'm going to give you a little bit of the backstory, because this all started because I decided to do a video on mind mapping for the channel. Just a general video. This is mind mapping. Here's some cool tools. And a light bulb went off. As I did it, as I created the script in a mind map, I thought this is a terrific, easy way for me to create my content. So I started to use it more and more. And then one day, I thought I'm going to use this for our Webinar Wednesday. Every week here on Dotto Tech, we do a tutorial webinar on some content creation or productivity subject. And I started to outline those tutorials in the mind map. Then the other light bulb went off. And so this wasn't me planning to start to use my mind maps this way, but I was lazy. I didn't feel like creating slides for one particular video. So I said, I'm just going to share the mind map. I'm just going to use the mind map instead of slides, and I'm going to move around on the mind map, and we'll see how it goes. And if it wasn't a huge success, it was amazing. All of the people watching the tutorial started to comment, how are you doing this, Steve? I really like this presentation style. And so here my laziness had proven to be a boon for us because people liked me presenting content this way. So let's take a look at how we use a mind map for presentation. And you can determine whether or not this is something that is going to work for you. First of all, as far as which mind mapping tool do you want to use, doesn't matter. There's just a bewildering array of great mind mapping tools out there. I use Ayoa, and yes, I do have an affiliate link in the description for Ayoa, but MindMeister, all of the other mind mapping applications can do this just as well. But here's the basis of how it works. And then stick around because I'll take you on a little bit of a demo of how mind maps work if they're new to you. But this is how it works as far as presentation goes, is I write out my mind map, and each of these different branches are different main areas that I'm going to be talking about as far as the presentation goes. And this is just me basically throwing down, noodling ideas of what's going to go into that week's particular training. And then I slowly craft it and massage it until it makes some sense as far as delivering the content. But then when I go to deliver the content, what I do is I zoom in and out, and I use the mind map as the screens in the background, and I zoom in and out on the different topics. And by zooming in and out, here's what happens, is instead of having a static slide with just one thought, everybody watching that particular presentation gets to see the thought that you're doing or the topic that you're talking about, but they get to see the path that it's going on, as well as the context of what you've been talking about before. So it gives them a visual representation of the thread that you're talking about, of the narrative arc of whatever it is that you're delivering. And I believe that it increases the clarity of the information being delivered. And the proof is in the pudding. Every single week we do, in one of the webinars, somebody asks us, how are you doing these mind maps? I love this. They love the way that it works. Now, if you want to create drama and you don't want to give everything away, you can collapse and expand these different branches just thusly. So you can start out your presentation with just the top level things that you're going to be talking about here. I'm just scrolling around here while we do this. You can see that I can reduce it all down so that you can start out your presentation by saying, let's just close that one. Today we're going to be talking about technology. The Lord of the Calendar is reducing your inventory and resources. But let's dive into the technology. And then you expand that thread, that branch, and you continue to talk. So you see how it becomes an advantage and a foil for you in delivering presentations. This is a terrific way of delivering content, not just from the fact that it adds additional clarity to the presentation, but it also is so efficient as far as the creation process. What the canvas that you write your presentation on becomes the canvas you present. You don't have to go through and create slides and add graphics and all of those sorts of things, although you might intersperse it with some slides should you choose. But as a presentation aid, oh my gosh, this has been life-changing for me. Let's take a moment and I'll show you how you create a mind map from scratch. And all of them are going to be fairly similar. As I said, I'm using a tool called Ayoa. Links will be below. Now, Ayoa is free for a couple of weeks, I think, and then it's a paid service. But I'll include links in the description to some good free mind maps as well. But effectively what happens is when I'm ready to create any new presentation, any new video, is I create a new mind map. And here within Ayoa is a nice full featured. It's also a task manager and you can do a lot of other things with it. Mind mapping is a part of this particular application. But I'm going to create our demo mind map here. And when you create a new mind map, you're brought into a blank canvas that you can then start to populate with information. You've got your central theme, your central idea, which you see right here. And if I hit the plus sign on here, it starts the different child branches and the different topics. So I can put topic 1 here. So each of these are branches of information that I can add other subtopics to. So if I hit return, I have another one at the same level. This is going to be topic 2. And then if I hit the plus key on the side or I hit my tab, I'm then creating a child branch of this parent branch. So we've got these sibling branches each growing out and you create these trees of information, but you can see the thread as they're related. And so this is subtopic 2. And we go on and we continue to add. Now, some of the beauties of this, if you need to change and to move information around, you can grab any topic, drag it over top of another cell, and you're then able to drop it and you're able to move it. And you have control over the color and the format and the text of your different nodes here. Now you can go well beyond the visual use of a mind map that I'm showing here by also adding things like attachments and adding images, adding notes to any one particular area, so that you can make some mind maps can become full rich. They can almost become a full business plan. Well, indeed, they can become full business plans or full strategy plans. But the same process always works. You have related information that threads out from your main topic, and each subtopic is related back, and you create these linkages that way. As you're writing, those linkages create a natural flow of the information coming from your brain onto the canvas as you're trying to compose the information. But then additionally, once you're starting to present the information to your community, those linkages create context as they're looking, and that is winner, winner, chicken dinner as far as clarity and as far as imparting content in a more efficient way. You could tell I really like this use of mind mapping. And with that, we'll call it a day. I would love to hear your thoughts about how you use mind maps, if you like what you see, if you think that there's a better way of doing it, or if you've got some great tips and ideas to improve this process. Share them in comments, and I would greatly appreciate that. Now, before we leave, I want to ask you, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and give us a like if you've enjoyed this video. And I also want to invite you to one of those Webinar Wednesdays that I talked about. Every week here at Dotto Tech, we host a tutorial webinar on some aspect of content creation or productivity. They will be presented using mind maps, and I invite you to join us. The link is right here. Till next time, I'm Steve Dotto. Have fun storming the castle.